Okay, today we're going to learn halacha. If you're allowed to remove on Shabbos a flower pot from one place to another. So I'm going to start from the end. Normally I start from the beginning, Mishnah, Gemara. Here I'm going to start from the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch because that's how the Shaila came. So I'm going to go from there. So in the Simon Peis halacha Pei halacha Samech Aleph. The Kitzur writes like this: Klisha zorim b'mina asovim or sheshanim l'noi olo riach. Says a flower pot that you have the different kind of plants. Also, litlash mimena, k'moshe litlash mineilan. They're not allowed to cut anything from there, like you're not allowed to do from the tree. That will be isur tlisha, the rice. That's the punchline I want to talk about. If it's on the lechoira, the way a lot of people, that's why I said that I'm talking about, because some people understood if it's on the floor in your house, you cannot put it on the table. The kimanshu with the lakarka mariach or merech or to godel. Because see, when it's on the floor, it's growing from the air of the ground. When you pick it up, the flower pot, it's like you're cutting it off from its origin of life, where it gets chayus, where it grows. Let's say the other way around. We're sitting on the table, and you want to take it to the table and put it on the ground. It's like right now, it's like you planting it, you're connecting it to a place where it could grow from the air over there. But doesn't make a difference the flower pot made out of clay, made out of wood. Whether it has a hole in it or not. Okay, so the pashtus, according to this, like I said, that's how the Shaila came to me, that's how I looked into it. So mashma, you cannot take a flower pot from anywhere and move it. It would be muksa, because since you're not allowed to do anything, it's muksa. Plus, besides muksa, Isur the Rabbanon, you might be entering some kind of Isur. We're going to see now if it's the rice or the Rabbanon, of planting or harvesting, because if it's on the floor, you pick it up, it's like you just harvested it. If it's on the table, you put it over there, it's like you just planted. That's how people understand it. But Lamaisa, at the understanding of this halacha, it's not so posh. That's why we should kitzur. It's good, safer to start to learn halachas, but then eventually, if they go to a sfarim that they have more, they have more sources where it's coming from, and when you understand the origin of the halacha, you understand when it's applicable, when it's not. So it's a Gemara, it's a Mishnah in the Masechah Shabbos, Daf Tzadik Amud Aleph. It's a mamash a Mishnah mefureshes. Atoilish meotzitz. Nokov chayav. Somebody gonna take a flower pot that has a hole in it, in the flower pot. Again, the hole makes it to that it's being nurtured from the ground, from the air of the ground, grows from there. You chayav. It's like chayav. It's like toilish. It's like you harvesting now. It's not allowed to do on Shabbos. V'she'ena nokov. If it doesn't have any holes, it doesn't have any air that doesn't nurture from the ground, potur. Okay, so that's the Gemara talks. This is the Gemara in Daf, the Mishnah in Daf Tzadik Vav. Now there's another Gemara in Daf Pei Aleph Amud Beis. The Gemara talks about, according to many Rishonim, it talks about the flower pot. According to some, it's not. But we're going to go according to Rashi. That talks about the flower pot. Here's what the Gemara says over here. Amar Rabbi Parfisa. According to Rashi, Parfisa, that's the flower pot. It was on the ground. It says, even that's how the Rashba learns Pshat. Not even you're putting it on somewhere away from the table and it says sitting on some platform. No, even you put on the air. That's how Rashba learns the Pshat. If you put on the air, even though it's not directly connected to the ground, yeah. No, let's leave the Rashba aside. Let's leave the Pashtus. No, if you took it from the ground away, no, Adarabba, you're cutting it off now. Like this. Amunach al gaba yesay. That's what was sitting on some kind of shelf, and then you v'nicha al gaba karka, you put it on the ground. Chai mishum noiteya. Okay, so That's how by the way, it has some shaychus to Rosh Hashanah. Rashi brings, they used to do this, he says, the flour, here's what Rashi says, it's an interesting minig. Rashi says, B'tshuvas hagoyim motzotzish, oisim choitlos mikapos temorim, u'mamalim oisim ofer. They used to make a basket from the date tree, and used to fill them up with dirt, with zevel, behemu, v'chov beis, otesrov yom, l'fnei Rosh Hashanah, it says 22 or 15 days before Rosh Hashanah, oisim kolach hayog l'shem kol koton v'ktanish v'bayis. They do it for the children. V'zorim l'zochem pul ha-mitzri o kitnis v'korim lo porfisa v'tzomeach u'berev Rosh Hashanah. They used to do it a few weeks before. They should grow a little plant. And then Rosh Hashanah, it says, noitel kalecha chelo machzira svivas roisha shiva pa'omim v'ema ze tachas ze chalifoli ze timorot ze mashnich l'nor. So we do to the kaporas with the chicken. They used to do the kaporas with this. It's a lot cheaper was to do it this way. And used to do kaporas with this, and then we would throw this plant into the river. Anyway, so that's just okay. So the Lamaisa is like this. So l'choira, you could say right away that the halacha you see in the kitzur, the whole problem is l'choira when it's nurturing from the ground. If it's not nurturing, it's not shaykh. All this halachas l'choira, it's not shaykh over here. So like this. So now I'll tell you also why he brings over there. It doesn't make a difference. Kli cheres, kli etz has a hole, doesn't have a hole. Why? Where it's coming from? So here is what it says over here. The two bring us halacha. Also litlash afilu me'atzich and a nokuv. L'choira, if you take anything that's already out of the ground and you break it, it's not called toilish. The toilish is only when it's connected to the ground. Then you're uprooting it or you're cutting it. But if it's not on the ground, let's say you buy flowers for Shabbos, it's on the table. You could break it. What's the problem? Breaking it. You broke it. It's not toilish. So he says, also where this is coming from. It looks like if it's otzeshen it doesn't have any nurturing from the ground. It should be mutter. So why are you answering it? So the reason why they're answering it is machloikes rishonim. Even though if the flower pot has no hole, there is a chitimtza, it could have some air going through the flower pot and being nurtured from the air of the ground and grow through it. Some Rishonim saying if it's kli cheres, the air goes through. Some saying other way around. Kli cheres, the air doesn't go through, only kli eitz. So that's what he's talking about over here. Even she'ena nokuv, if it's one of those two, kli cheres or kli eitz, according to some Rishonim, the one has the air goes through, the other one goes through. So we're machmir to go to the both shittas. So you cannot have if it's made out of wood or made out of clay. Even that's on the ground. If you take it, according to them, it's still the air goes through. So it's considered to be connected to the ground. If you remove it, it's like you're cutting it off. According to this, would be
because they're porous.
Oh, very good. Because something goes through. Very good. According to this, would be if it's plastic, how different material. It's not wood. It's not clay. It's nothing goes through over there. The choira. You could do it, or we could make scientific today some research, see what goes through, what's not. We could maybe blow some air through them. I don't know, but I'm saying it's not like halacha l'moshe Sinai. No, the reason for it, it's not we understand because the air goes through. Even there, Rabbi Shimon says he's not masking to that, but it's not fine. We're going to l'chumra. Like I said, if it's made out of wood or out of clay, the air might go through. That's why we don't do it. According to this, like I said, if it's plastic or anything other material that doesn't go through, it should be no problem. Oh, now there's another reason here. Here's what I mentioned before: the Halacha Shiur. So I'm reading from the Bas Yosef. Tamo shel Rashi mibnei she'afal gav shmunach al gaba yesoides yoinek min hakaka ktsas. I'm sorry, I mentioned before from Rashba. It's not Rashba. It's Halacha Shiur. That even though it's not mamash on the ground, let's say it's hanging on something, it still has the air of the ground goes through the flower pot if there is a hole over there, or if it's clay, it's a klecheretz, according to some Rishonim, one of them. So he says, Yonik tzas min akarka, hilkach midaraisa chaya mishum toila shum mishum nateya. Midaraisa even, the chaya, according to this shita. Not that we're asking it's daraisa, this whole thing. Anyway. ואם כן, משמע, שאם הפסיקה לגמרי בעצם או בבגד, let's say you put a real hefsek between the ground, between that flower pot and the ground. You have wood, or bebeged. Well, the wood would be, according to Mandomar, that the wood doesn't have yanika. Yeah? The posuk in Nikosta Lagaber, and Shach but Lishim Lantim Midarais. At Kan Lashain. Okay. So here is the conclusion of this. So the conclusion of this halacha is as follows. If you're talking about now at home, we have today some machmir. If there's a little beged, the Biur Halacha brings also. It's not between the ground a little, but today at home we have completely flooring that has no shaykhus to the earth outside. It's no, you cannot grow anything on your flooring at home. Absolutely nothing gonna grow over there, because either you have concrete, then you have either carpet, or you have wood, or you have any other flooring. So Mamela, there's no unique of it. Okay, we would be machmir otzitz nokov maybe, but if it's otzitz shena nokov, and you have the flooring, so there's no problem whatsoever. So that halacha of kitzur, it's emes la'amitoy, but you have to know when it applies. It doesn't apply to the circumstance we have today, because there's no unique over there. So Mamela, some people in Mamish, I see even they were careful when they have flour, they buy for Kavod Shabbos on the table, they don't want to touch it. It's absolutely no problem. It's sitting in a glass, in a plastic, and it's on the table. It's no unique. It's nami dorais, it's not the problem. So what would be shaykh? We're going to go soon to sukkahs outside, and you're sitting outside. Maybe you have something on the ground. Over there would be a real problem with the dorais and the rabbanon, nokov shena, nokov cheres, eitz. Over there is more machma, but at home, when you have no unique from the ground whatsoever, you have a lot of flooring over there, and you have a flower pot, or you have something without any holes in it, and it's especially made out of plastic, then it's no problem whatsoever. Not the rice and not the rabbanon.